unity message to embrace fallen heroes. Referral hospital to elevate status. An hour's countdown for Tokyo Games.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening and welcome. This is Friday's news. Today marks the 40th year of the National Remembrance Day in commemoration of the fallen heroes who served during the Second World War. Papua New Guineans were urged to remain strongly united and to value the sacrifices of the war heroes who ensured for freedom. This was the message by Grand Chief Governor-General Sir Bob Dadai during the Remembrance ceremony this morning.
This day remains a special day for Papua New Guineans as they gathered with respect today to honor the unsung heroes who served in the Second World War and in the line of duty to protect the country. During the ceremony, keynote speaker Governor-General Sir Bob Dadai emphasized that the country is at the crossroad between prosperity and disintegration. Sir Dadai said breaking away will be a long and wearisome road politically.
I strongly appeal to the government not to entertain any idea of breaking away by any provinces, as that will only lead to other provinces following suit. Nevertheless, the government should only grant autonomy for provinces to manage their administrative and financial affairs to sustain their respective economy in close consultation and cooperation with the national government.
Sir Dadai stated that the freedom we have today is the courtesy of the sacrifices and services of our fallen soldiers who served during the Second World War. He described the sacrifices as second to none. However, he said this freedom is taken for granted. He added that another contributing factor to the abuse of the legacy and freedom is the frequent ethnic violence in the country. Podivai, National EMTV News.
The country's biggest referral hospital is working around the clock to improve its status. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Paki Mulumi says with the new hospital plan, the facility will become a center of excellence. Dr. Mulumi says this will see upgrade of world-class health facilities and better service for the people to access.
Speaking yesterday, the Chief Executive Officer says the hospital will see a major shift of service delivery. He says this will see upgrade of healthcare, world-class facilities and improved services. All these will fall under the new hospital's plan that will be launched soon.
2021 National Health Plan, which is going to be launched shortly, but Moresby General Hospital will become the center of excellence of healthcare in this country, which means that we have to build our infrastructure to standards around the world.
Yesterday, the referral hospital witnessed the application of the stenting procedure, a vital service introduced at the Port Moresby General Hospital. A funding of 10 million kina was also presented as an initial funding for the new cancer center. This is also part of the innovation Port Moresby General Hospital will undergo. The Chief Executive Officer says the hospital will step into new grounds in the coming years.
So that we not only stop our people from going to seek treatment in Singapore or to Philippines or to Australia, but we also attract our Pacific neighbors, our South Asian neighbors to come and seek treatment here so that we drive medical tourism. We do clinical research, clinical trials in these facilities so that we have a long-term sustainable program when we develop these infrastructures.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister James Marape says after 35 years of independence, the country has reached maturity to build, improve and create better services for the people. He says among other priority areas, health is foremost.
And that also includes looking at workplace in as far as your own, our health workers' sustenance is concerned and your work conditions, but also the work environment and the capacity that is associated with giving efficient, effective and modern healthcare to our people. As I stand here in this momentous occasion, never more into the future will Papua New Guinea fly out of PNG for health or heart care. We've reached a threshold of maturity in as far as heart care is concerned.
Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
Former National Court Judge Brian Brunton has issued a statement highlighting what he describes as a collapse of the justice system in Alotau and the Milne Bay province. Brunton said the courts have been weakened by the lack of support from the national government over many years. He has added that the system is further burdened by the current crisis in Alotau.
There is a serious breakdown in Milne Bay with justice, peace and law. Constitutional protections associated with policing and the courts are ineffective. These matters have been deteriorating for about 20 years, but are now out of control. They have been made worse recently because the justice system is so under-resourced. It is incapable of lawfully containing piracy, bandits, insurgency, and the coronavirus pandemic emergency, together with routine police matters.
The opening of a new Seventh-day Adventist Church pastor's house at Sirinumu Lake area in Kairukuhiri Electorate may seem low-key, but it marks a significant fulfillment of a government promise that was made many decades ago. With funding from government and private entities, the house was finally opened recently to enable feelings of accomplishment among the local people who have desired for it over a number of generations. Nomoa Nuana's father was a ward councillor in the Sirinumu Lake area. He tells the story of how colonizers told his father to burn the old pastor's house, which was then made of bush materials. His father refused to burn the house as he didn't feel right about it. So the colonizers burnt up the house with the intention and purpose of building a new, modern one later. However, this has not been fulfilled over generations of hardship and struggle for the church in the area, particularly in terms of infrastructure.
So, I think the government has been promised law working house and house law to one number okay. Now today come now no got on something blah struggle and blah still work law and stuff. Aim na gold blah tintin okay blah carib blah still work law. Carib blah line the place line still government be working empty promises now some blah to go diapins from law got diapins. Now papa na must more diapins okay problem blah diapins. Na carib law le na am kabe picking blah na am blah still working stablo and I'm solar blah. And so na am blah house na am blah finishing house past time blah na am blah go house law.
But much to the delight of Nomoa and the local people in Sirinumu Lake area, the Sirinumu Development Corporation, which is the landowner company, in partnership with former Central Province Governor Kila Hauda and Kairukuhiri MP Peter Isoaimo, the historic pastor's house has finally been constructed and opened.
Kila Hauda was the first governor that funded this building back in 2015. And then myself as the landowner company chairman with my board members decided to complete the building by contributing.
According to General Secretary of SDA Central Papua Conference, Pastor Rex Koi, church work reached the Sirinumu Lake area many decades ago, and he challenged the people to shift to the next level, having new infrastructure in place.
My church family, change our perspective, change our look. Let's level it up with what is happening around the world today. Now you may live in good, decent houses, put our kids to school. You may live in as Adventist community.
The landowner company has invested about 30,000 kina in the pastor's house project, with Kairukuhiri DDA helping with 10,000 kina and the church members raising some funds as well.
We continue funding women, youths and church activities. I'm happy and I commend all the donors and all people, especially the clergymen who have put in efforts to ensuring gradually the opening of the house.
The people in the area look forward to having a new church building constructed as part of future infrastructure projects in the area. You're watching National MTV News. More stories when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Air New Guinea flights into Madang Airport will continue until this Sunday, despite notice of a temporary suspension on its flights. The continuation of flights is a result of a 3-day work delay on the commencement of the runway upgrade being carried out by the National Airports Corporation. Initially on July 6th, Air New Guinea announced a temporary suspension on flights into Madang. This saw calls from the Madang Chamber of Commerce and Tourism industry to find alternatives for flights to still continue while the upgrade work is ongoing. Air New Guinea will have 3 -8 flights to Madang today, on Saturday and Sunday, while Tropic Air will continue services out of Madang, where passengers can connect with Air New Guinea flights. The multi-million Kina 3-year European Union and UNICEF's Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, or WASH project is nearing to an end. Implementers such as Care International are under pressure to deliver a project on time as expected to benefit 160,000 people in the 4 pilot electorates of PNG. Care International and Mount Hagen City Authority have recently signed an agreement to build clean toilets for 3 schools.
These schools are Koglumb Primary and its 2 feeder elementary schools, Koglumb and Raglimb Elementary School. They are in the Hagen Open Electorate. 3 other pilot electorates are Nawai, Bougainville and Goroka. The project will include ablution blocks for girls, boys, for the teachers and ancillary staff and persons with special needs. So far, 34 out of 50 schools in Hagen Electorate have been completed.
Expect all the 3+ school must communicate one time more community. Now inside the board level, finding more sample line or school can try to clear him. All got all topsoil, bend by me black and mark him ground blood, dig him all. Now dig him all finish. Time you are ready for them this land now, that's the time you are moving.
European Union funded 80 million kina to successfully implement the UNICEF's and the national government's WASH project. It is a 3-year project which started in 2019 and will end this year. It is expected to benefit 160,000 people, including 40,000 children from the 200 schools in the 4 pilot districts, 36 health centers and 800 neighboring communities. The project will provide access to clean water and basic sanitation to achieve a healthy and wealthy population for socio-economic development.
So elten aikin en bagra mol pinin no school good time toilet smell. Iso ko stablo side pe toilet iso kege no. Ol pinin important something mol pinin message pro country.
The 3 schools are lucky to be selected as they have never received such projects since their establishments. This project will be completed within 1 month. Vasinata Yama, National MTV News, Mount Hagen.
More than 200 mothers completed financial literacy training in Port Moresby. Trade store owners and women in business in the Moresby Northeast Electorate undertook this 1-week course to enable them to access loans from the banks to boost their business activities. This is one of the major SME projects supported with a 3 million kina funding.
This is the batch number 24 for financial literacy training for women in business and trade store owners in the Moresby Northeast Electorate. The course taken covers bookkeeping areas for the entrepreneurs. The certified entrepreneurs who are actively involved in business can now extend their business by getting loans from the banks.
How to making money, how to spending money, how to banking money. Also, basically, the requirement of Public Finance Management Act. Also, financial literacy training is a requirement. So you pass this law now, you're eligible to government funding. What we are basically doing is empower them to go and get a loan at the lowest interest rate so that they can extend their business.
With the completion of the training, this enables the business owners to access funds from the commercial banks to boost their business activities. The established business persons can take a loan range between 500 kina and 5,000 kina.
They start from 500 kina to 5,000. So on the trade store level, they are already in business, so we put some equity in the bank and they will get loan because these are people who guarantee 80% rate of success.
Moresby Northeast Electorate has allocated 3 million kina for SMEs through its District Services Improvement Plan. Moresby Northeast MP John Kaupa says he will continue to boost SME projects with an increased amount of funding totaling up to 6 million kina.
After this one is exhausted, when we get our next lot of DSIP, we will continue because it benefits and it really go down well with our bottom-up approach, SME and SME business.
Suli, National MTV News.
Owner of a local stationery supplier says government's SME policy is not working. Stanley Kaka says many SME entrepreneurs are hit hard by foreign companies. He says small SMEs are not given the opportunity to be engaged in business.
Alohia Moresby mi luki mosem. Emol all no entertaining me bla, all no giving this la opportunity lo me bla. Lo expanding more carry mar this la SME bla me bla. Time me bla like go supply more all items, consumable items, along all departments. Now all big black companies, all kerap talk. You know big black companies, all, especially all company where me bla thinking by me bla ina blo halbi mall. All kerap talk. No kat me bla kisim supply lo this la all companies. Na time me bla looking all this la companies, all owned by foreigners. You know Papua New Guinea.
A capacity strengthening workshop on mainstreaming climate change growth in provincial plan and budget was held recently in Enga province. The workshop aimed at strengthening the country's capacity to mitigate and adapt to the adverse impacts of climate change. The Climate Resilience Green Growth or CRGG report was also presented to the Enga provincial government during this workshop.
The capacity building workshop was held in Wabek Enga province and attended by members of the Climate Change Development Authority and other stakeholders. The workshop is to strengthen the country's capacity in mainstream climate resilience and green growth practices, and to end so it is covered in the planning and budgetary framework at national and sub-national levels. The CRGG report was also presented to the Enga provincial government during this workshop. The Climate Resilience Green Growth report was compiled by the CRGG project team following a comprehensive assessment using the transparent and evidence-based methods. The assessment identifies priorities for enhancing resilience towards the adverse impacts of climate change and relevant interventions to address these priorities. The assessment uncovers 4 priority sectors, and that includes agriculture, water, energy and transport. The CRGG project is a climate change project implemented by the Climate Change Development Authority with financial support from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. It is executed by the Global Green Growth Institute. The project is implemented at the sub-national level with support from Milne Bay, New Island and Enga provincial governments. CCDA Managing Director Ruel Yamuna says the climate resilience approach is a necessity rather than a choice, and it can be used to unlock the value of green growth in achieving economic, environment and inclusive social development. He further thanked the Australian government for their support in funding this project. Rayon Lakingu, National MTV News.
Monitoring patients' conditions in a flying helicopter isn't the easiest task. For nurses with Manolos Aviation's Medivac program, this is what they do with every Medivac. To aid in this challenging role of delivering health services to the rural population, the Manolos Mountain Area Medical Airlift or MAMA Foundation will be receiving a new Defilibrator courtesy of Trukai Industries. Trukai's CEO Alan Preston said the company is happy to support the foundation in their work to help save lives.
An average day for the Manolos Aviation team in Ley involves call-outs for medical evacuations, to the rural parts of Moresby and other parts of the country as well. One of the Medivac nurses, Naomi Pamaraka, said monitoring a patient in flight has its challenges.
Space inosala we mi plato mas lo plante something we mi plana lo walkie lo sigman lo lookim accurate.
To help with this, the Manolos Mountain Area Medical Airlift or MAMA Foundation will be receiving a new defibrillator donated by the Trukai Industries.
It's a great gesture on behalf of Trukai. I'm delighted and proud that we can make it to such a noble cause.
Our nurses will be better equipped to effectively monitor patients en route to hospitals, reducing risk and increasing efficiency.
Manolos Aviation, through its Medivac program, has responded to over 1,000 cases since 2008. Patient conditions vary from birth complications to accident injuries in the rural areas. For Trukai Industries, they've been supporting the Medivac program since 2016 and are currently the only corporate company doing so.
But we do not have any other private sector support at this stage except Trukai, and we thank them for that. Thank you so much. Yep.
It's a great need out there, and we're making a contribution. It's a good start, and it's a great start, but I'm sure there's more could be done.
While the nurses currently have equipment to monitor patients' conditions, the defibrillator will make it easier for them to do this in flight, and the nurses are excited to use the new equipment.
Pressure machine or check him wind or oxygen lo sigman mi just put him tasol na put him all machine tasol machine by giving me all get a reading mi just sit down look lo machine write him tasol and then he come back.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Lay.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The competition times and draws for PNG athletes competing in the Tokyo Olympic Games have been finalized. 4 of the 5 sports that Team PNG is competing in held their final technical meetings yesterday to finalize competition times, entries and draws for the respective sporting events. MTV will be televising the opening ceremony live tonight with the coverage beginning at 9 p.m.
Weightlifters Dikatoa and Moria Baru arrived in Tokyo late Wednesday night. Both did not waste any time, going straight into training the next morning. Toa, who is making a 5th Olympic Games appearance, will be the first athlete to compete. She will be competing in the women's 49 kg event. The event begins at 9:50 a.m. local time, which is 10:50 a.m. PNG time, on Saturday 24th of July. Male weightlifter Moria Baru will take the platform at 11:50 a.m., which is 12:50 PNG time, in the men's 61 kg event on Sunday. Baru will be looking to improve on his 6th place ranking at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Boxer John Ume will take on Australia's Eric Gasside in the men's lightweight on Sunday at 7:54 p.m. local time, which is 8:54 p.m. PNG time. Meanwhile, the sibling sailors Teriki and sister Rosalie Numa spent yesterday testing their allocated laser dinghies, rigging them to suit, and spending time on the water to familiarize themselves with the conditions. Yana Zoriri, Trukai Sports.
The 2021 Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League competition was launched on Thursday night in Port Moresby. The official kickoff and commencement of matches will be on Saturday. The competition will move away from the league format with a conference format for this season. The Southern and the Northern Conferences will host matches in Port Moresby and Lae.
Under the beats of the Bougainville Bamboo Band, handful of stakeholders and media ready for the launching of the 16th season of the National Soccer League competition. Challenges brought on by COVID-19 have once again made changes to the competition. This time the competition will revert back to the conference system, this time only the Northern and Southern Conferences. With travel restrictions in place, option of teams playing in Lae and Port Moresby has become the obvious choice.
It is very unfortunate that our league will be played in the two conferences, which will be in the northern and the southern regions due to the COVID-19 restrictions and protocols. And possibly next season, it will be back to the league system.
They're way back again, this time. Lae City Dwellers FC.
The competition has also welcomed new teams with the return of Lae City Dwellers franchise, former champions of the NSL, captained by Raymond Gunemba.
There are several newcomers to the men's NSL this season, and let me this time welcome Central Dabaris. We also have City Strikers FC, Sipik FC. We're very happy that last year they came with the women and they were runners-up in the Northern, and today we have Sipik FC. We have Tavor FC from Kimbe, all the way from Kimbe, and they will be here. We also welcome back Lae City Dwellers FC back onto the scene. We also welcome two new youth development teams. We call it Northern Youth FC and Southern Youth FC.
The competition is set to kick off tomorrow in Port Moresby and Lae, being the only two venues of the competition. For fans of football in the two provinces, no spectators are allowed, with restrictions very strong for the competition. Papua New Guinea Football Association President John Capinato also made mention that there will be new committee members within the National Soccer League competition.
PNGFA Executive Committee members will be appointing a new standing committees for the men's NSL and will be announced shortly for a term to hold the office.
The night ended with a stunning display of fireworks. Sukina, Trukai Sports.
West New Britain side Tavor FC are in this year's Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League with the team to play in the Southern Conference. The team, made up of majority players from West New Britain, will be based in Port Moresby for the duration of the 2021 season.
All the way from the oil palm province straight to the big city of Port Moresby, the team from West New Britain, named after the province's iconic conch shell, Tavor FC, were hard at training this morning, getting ready for their opening match tomorrow in the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League.
All boys only come lately, due to some arrangement mi plagat one time all sponsor mi bla provincial government, and then after that we managed to get our team in. They're here already and in training now.
Team manager of Tavor FC, Ignatius Maela, says the team is made up of mostly local players in their youth across West New Britain who play in their local PNGFA sanctioned competitions.
And we have our local talents as well, from all the way from Biala, Ulamona to around to Kendrian. So all these players are here, young boys, and with a mixture of the boys in the Kimbe Association as well as NBPOL.
Joining the coaching staff is Trevor Ire, who last season coached grand finalist VTS United.
Fortunate to have coaches like Trevor Ire, Hans, and all the other coaches in Kimbe that contributed to training the boys.
The team is obviously far from the oil palm province, and for some it was the first time to get on a plane and visit the big city of Port Moresby. But the team is also reaching out to the Port Moresby West New Britain community for support.
We have our team here housed here. We've found a location and a housing facility that they are now in. And like I said, it's a community thing. We're reaching out to all our West New Britain community to come in and help support our West New Britain team, Tavor FC.
The team will be based full-time in Port Moresby, and the team management is certain the team will be competitive in their first season.
Leaders in Port Moresby that are leading this team, in the likes of John Kayo, our patron, and we have John Sitapai, our president, and our vice president, Mr. Felix Bage, and myself. We are very proud that we have a team here, and we are here to stay and we will compete in the National Soccer League.
The current playing group has set a benchmark, opening the way for the youth in West New Britain to have a pathway to the national team.
Tavor FC is one of them that we've now brought it into the National Soccer League, and we will go back and do the, like I said, other programs to make sure all our youths take part in such league.
Tavor FC will take on fellow newcomers Southern Youth FC in round 1 of the Southern Conference at the PNG Football Stadium. Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The SPPNG Hunters will be confident of continuing their winning ways when they take on the last-placed Mackay Cutters in this weekend's round of matches in the Interest Super Cup. A win for the Hunters will set them on a course for a late run towards the finals.
Consistency is the name of the game for the SPPNG Hunters as they set out to ignite their Interest Super Cup finals campaign when they take on the Mackay Cutters at the Bycroft Oval this Saturday. The Hunters have struggled for consistency in the early rounds until getting back to their winning ways with a commanding victory over the Northern Pride last weekend. The nature of the win showcased the potential of the Hunters' current team. The solid effort from the forwards was complemented by the outstanding tries from the backline, proving that the team has what it takes to storm back into the finals campaign, which begins in September. Junior Rao will celebrate his 50th Intra Super Cup appearance for the Hunters. Rao was among the backline sprinters who piled on 6 tries against the Pride last week. Ase Boas will captain the Hunters, while skipper Ila Alu rests from a HIA knock sustained during the win over the Pride. The Hunters and Cutters have so far played 10 times against each other in the ISC, with the Hunters losing only 2 of those encounters. Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.
That ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next with all the details after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports. This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby, mostly fine, partly cloudy periods for Daru. Kerma, cloudy with few showers. Alotau, partly cloudy with a shower or 2, and partly cloudy with few showers for Popondetta.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Friday the 23rd of July 2021. And a reminder, EMTV will be televising the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympic Games at 9 p.m. tonight PNG time. Until then, be safe. Bye for now.